Hello everyone, so sadly it's the end of Halloween season and the beginning of Mariah Carey, which is definitely not my thing, so you probably won't be seeing many book reviews on Christmas over here. There might be one or two, but it's not really my thing. So this month I've already got us scheduled to read two by Grady Hendrix, one being How to Sell a Haunted House, and the other one is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which I'm a sucker for vampires, so I'm really looking forward to that. I also have the second book in the Clackety or the Blight House or Blight Harbor series. I'll be reading that one. I may get back to the Smiling Man. I haven't quite decided. It just really depends on how I feel this month. The time change is really kicking my butt, and while I love all things dark and spooky, it's just it's a little bit dark. But I figured for this video I would take a moment to just tell y'all a little bit about myself and why I'm doing this. So yeah, here we go. So let's start from the very beginning. I was that girl who just adored reading all growing up. I mean, you could not pry me out of the bookstore. I had the highest AR points, everything just was, I could go through any book all the time, high grade level, no big deal. And then high school hit. And there became a lot of required reading, and while I do love Shakespeare and the Iliad and all the classics, we had to read some, what I would consider not really, it was by no means classical literature. Off the top of my head, I just remember reading Ethan Frome and being so depressed by the end of it that I hated reading. By the time I got out of high school, reading was nothing more than a chore. There was no enjoyment out of it, and I just stopped. And I got back into a bit of the older classics after I got married. But even then, I felt like I was just reading because I was smart, and that's what you just had to do because, being all fancy and posh. And I was not quite the crunchy lady, but I was quickly on my way, and thank the Lord I got out of that. Got me a set of leggings and started just scrolling through Facebook again. And so that went on, and I didn't read for a good long stretch of time until about a year and a half ago now. I was scrolling through Facebook, and it kept giving me all these recommendations for these self-published paranormal romances, and it was all the werewolves and the alphas and this and that, and some of it went a little bit further than I'm willing to go, but man, if this is what's getting published, what's stopping me from publishing? I mean, I've got time, I'm a housewife, so why not give it a shot? So I sat down and gave it a good thought, and then wrote my first book, which was An Instinctive Desire. I think I published that one last November. Forgive the noise, the dog is talkative, and they're still doing work out back because that's going to go on for another 3 months. Anyway, so I wrote that, and then I started my second novel because I was like, okay, that was hard. I mean, I won't lie, that was difficult. There's a lot of thoughts that I have not thought about in a while as far as grammar rules and everything else. The dog likes to give me toys. Anyway, hopefully they will chill out. And so I started my second book, which just recently got published, which is A Feral Attraction. But while I was writing those novels, I had this realization of, oh wow, I forgot how to write long fiction. I mean, during college I was into fan fiction for a bit, but I was writing and I was realizing, man, honestly, I'm having a lot harder time with this than I really ought to, considering how much I read when I was younger. And I was just sitting there going, what can I do to improve? Because I want to write well. I think the first book I actually read that got me back into reading was The Clackety by Laura Simph that I reviewed, I guess it was last week. And I was like, oh, these published authors write so much better than me. And I love what they're doing, but I don't know how to go about improving myself. Because, as a GT kid, I just memorized stuff. I've not had to learn how to do anything in a while. I guess baking and cooking was something I had to learn how to do. But as far as actual prose and literature, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so that's how this channel came about. Is I read somewhere or I heard somewhere that one has to be able to read critically versus just reading and hoping it absorbs. So I made this channel as kind of a way to keep myself accountable of what did I learn from the book? What did I like? What did I not like about styles and this and that? And so I felt that by making this kind of a video entry and trying to explain it to someone else, that maybe I would just figure it out better in my head. And it's actually working pretty well. And I appreciate any of y'all who are listening, because I recognize that I am not a film design person. Recording is not natural to me. It's actually pretty hard to sit in your living room and just talk to a camera. And so that's kind of why I'm here, and kind of what I'm doing is just, I want to be a good writer. I don't just want to publish Amazon, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I want to one day win a writing award. I write pretty well, I think. I just recognize that I could do better, and I want to do better. I want to just be able to write a book that when you pick it up, you enjoy it, you sympathize with the characters, you are suddenly transported to wherever the location is within the book. And I remember doing that as a kid. I remember picking up just any old book from the library and suddenly being transported to whatever other country, world setting that book took place in. And I want to capture that again. I want to be able to write stuff that people just enjoy reading. I'm not really interested in, having a big, moral of the story or anything. I just want to write an enjoyable book that you pick up and you're happy to go to. And so to do that, though, I need to know how to write. Because up until about 2 years ago, most of my writing consisted of household budgeting and letters to my grandparents. And I want to improve. So that's what Judging by the Cover is just my recordings and commentings on books that I have read in a hopes that I can produce a better novel for the readers. And on that note, see you next time, and thanks for watching. Bye.